There's a moment in your life, a quiet, almost invisible moment, when everything around you seems normal, but inside, something feels unbearably heavy. Not because of what's happening right now, but because of what you're still carrying from the past. And the truth is, most people never realize it. They wake up tired, they move through their day distracted, they feel stuck without knowing why. But what if the real reason you feel this way is not because life is too hard, but because you haven't learned how to let go of what's already over? Think about that carefully, right now, in this very moment. How many things are you still holding on to? Old regrets that replay in your mind when you're alone? Words someone said years ago that still echo in your thoughts? Mistakes you made that you keep punishing yourself for? Pain that you never fully processed? You think you're moving forward, but in reality, you're dragging invisible weight behind you every single day. And if something inside you is already starting to connect with this, then do one simple thing right now. Subscribe to this channel. Because messages like this aren't just meant to motivate you for a few minutes. They're meant to shift the way you see your entire life. There was a man, just an ordinary man, not famous, not extraordinary in any obvious way. He had a job, responsibilities, people who depended on him. From the outside, everything looked fine, but inside, he felt like he was falling apart. Every failure he had ever experienced was still alive in his mind. Every rejection, every moment he felt not good enough, it stayed with him, and slowly, without realizing it, he built his identity around those moments. He didn't see himself as someone who was growing. He saw himself as someone who had already failed. Every opportunity that came into his life, he doubted it. Every chance to move forward, he hesitated. Not because he didn't have the ability, but because deep down, he didn't believe he deserved a better life. And that belief didn't come from nowhere. It came from everything he refused to release. One day, something changed. Not because of a big event, not because someone came and saved him, but because he finally stopped running. He sat alone, in complete silence, and asked himself a question he had avoided for years. What am I still holding on to that is slowly destroying me? And for the first time, he didn't look away. He saw everything. The anger he never expressed, the guilt he never forgave, the expectations he kept trying to meet, the fear of being judged, the pain of being misunderstood, the pressure to prove something to the world. It was all there, layered inside him, growing heavier with time. And in that moment, something inside him shifted. He realized that life itself wasn't holding him back. He was holding on to the things that were, because holding on feels familiar. It feels like control, even if it hurts. It's something you know. Letting go, on the other hand, feels uncertain. It feels like stepping into something unknown, without guarantees. But here's the truth, and you need to hear this clearly. You cannot move forward while holding on to everything behind you. You cannot become a new version of yourself while staying attached to an old identity. You cannot experience peace while constantly feeding pain. And you cannot build a meaningful future if your mind is trapped in the past. And yet, this is exactly what most people do. They replay their past like a loop that never ends. They hold on to moments they cannot change. They blame themselves again and again for things that are already over. They wait for closure that may never come. And in doing so, they stay exactly where they are. The man understood something powerful that day. Letting go is not about forgetting what happened. It's about deciding that it no longer controls you. That's the difference. Because what happened to you matters. Your pain is real. Your experiences shaped you, but they are not meant to define your entire life. So he started small. He didn't suddenly transform overnight. He didn't wake up as a completely new person. He simply became aware. Every time his mind tried to pull him back into the past, he noticed it. Every time he started criticizing himself, he paused. Every time he felt that familiar weight, he asked himself one simple question: is holding on to this helping me or hurting me? And slowly, things began to change. Not instantly, not dramatically, but steadily. He began to forgive, not because others deserved it, but because he deserved peace. He began to release expectations because he realized they were creating his suffering. He stopped trying to control everything and started focusing on what he could actually influence. And for the first time in a long time, he felt something he hadn't felt in years: lightness. That's when he realized something most people never understand. Letting go is not losing something important. It's freeing yourself from what is no longer meant to stay. Because every time you let go of something that weighs you down, you create space. Space for growth, space for clarity, space for new opportunities, space for peace, space to become who you were always meant to be. But here's where it gets deeper. Most people think they need to fix everything before they can move forward. They think they need to understand everything. They think they need to feel ready. You don't. You just need to stop holding on to what is breaking you, because life will always bring challenges. There will always be pain, loss, uncertainty. That's part of being human. But what you choose to carry, that's your decision. And that decision shapes your entire life. If you've made it this far, I want you to take a moment and be honest with yourself. What is one thing you know you need to let go of? Don't ignore it. Don't avoid it. Acknowledge it. And if you're ready, drop it in the comments. Say it out loud, because awareness is the first step toward freedom. And if this message resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You never know whose life might change because of one message. Now listen carefully, because this is where most people struggle. They try to let go once, and when the feeling comes back, they think they failed. But letting go is not something you do once. It's something you practice every single day. You wake up and you choose not to carry yesterday. You face a situation and you choose not to react from old patterns. You feel triggered, and instead of reacting impulsively, you become aware. That's how change happens. Not through big moments, but through small, consistent decisions. The man understood this, and over time, everything began to shift. He became calmer, more present, more focused. He stopped chasing validation from others. He stopped fearing failure. He stopped trying to be perfect and started being real. And something incredible happened. Opportunities started appearing in his life, not because they weren't there before, but because now he was finally able to see them. Because when your mind is not clouded by the past, your vision becomes clear. When your energy is not consumed by what you're holding on to, you can invest it into what truly matters. When you let go, you grow. And growth changes everything. You start seeing life differently. You start reacting differently. You start making better decisions. You start attracting different experiences, not because the world changed, but because you did. And that's the part most people miss. They think their life will change when circumstances change, but your life changes when you change. So ask yourself, right now, what am I still holding on to? And is it worth carrying into my future? Because your future is not created by what you say you want. It is created by what you refuse to release. If nothing changes, nothing changes. But the moment you decide, truly decide, to let go of what's holding you back, that's the moment everything begins to shift. Not someday, not later, right now. So don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for closure or permission. Make the decision right here, right now. Let it go and step into the life that has been waiting for you the entire time.